This tutorial is going to walk through using the Bookings app through Office 365. So we're going to start on CenterNet and click on Office 365, and then you're going to click on the 9 little dots for the app launcher on the left-hand side, and you're going to click on Bookings. You may need to click on All Apps and then scroll down in the list to find Bookings. Now I've already created one, so I've got one that shows up right here that says test, but you're going to see one that says, or an option that says add a booking. For me, I'm going to be able to click here and say new. And it's a little businessy, but you can just overlook that part. So for the business name, you can just type whatever you want it to be called. So you could call it Chem Advising. And you don't have to put in a type, and you can just hit continue. So then it tells you that it's been created and that you can add staff. We don't actually need to add staff to it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Services. And under Services, it wants to call it an initial consult, but we're going to change that. So we're going to edit by clicking on the pencil. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to call this Advising, or whatever you want to call it. And you can put in whatever description you want. We're just going to take that out. Then for the default location, this is where you're going to put in your Zoom link. I have mine memorized, but it's also listed here in my recently used options. So this is my Zoom link. Do not add an online meeting because that's going to default to a Teams meeting, and it will confuse students because it'll give them both the Zoom link and a Teams meeting, unless you are using Teams, and then you can add that. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to set your default time. If it's an hour, it's an hour. If it's 30 minutes, set that. If you want a buffer time, you can set that. I wouldn't suggest doing that right there. Ignore the price. Like I said, it's kind of businessy. If you wanted to add notes, you could for yourself. Reminders, if you wanted to set those, you can. Apparently it can do text messaging if you added your students as customers. And I think that's all you need to set, and then just click your name at the bottom and then hit save. And then you're going to see this right here as your service. Okay, then you're going to click on Booking Page. Here's where you actually set up the booking page. You can require a Microsoft 365 account, so only students who are logged into their account can book with you. That could be problematic if they're not logged in, or if you had a student auditing your class or something from the outside, so just keep that in mind. Here again, you're going to have your time increments, lead time, and all of that. I just left those as the default, but if you wanted to change those, you could. I unchecked this one and checked this one, and I unchecked that because you're the only staff person that they're going to be scheduling with. And then for general availability, I did custom hours recurring weekly, and here's where you would set your office hours or your hours for advising. So if you only wanted to do Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, just delete the Tuesdays and the Thursdays, and then you could set your Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and let's say, for example, we'll do, I'm just making this up, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we'll make that the same for all three. Once you have that set, you are ready to go. If you needed to set up additional times, you could set a different availability for another date range. And then you can save and publish, or you can unpublish. So you can leave it as is, so you can come back and edit. When you save and publish, it gives you a link, and when you open the published page, you're going to see what students see. So it says advising, and you can customize the way this looks too. 30 minutes, you've got your dates that are highlighted here, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and your times. So a student would be able to click on this and they'd say, let's do November 20th at 10 a.m. And then they just put in their information. If they wanted to put in notes, they could put in notes, and then they say book. Then it's going to book it, and both you and the student will get an email. The confirmation page for the student shows the date, the time, the length, and has the link here, but it's not clickable. But in the confirmation email they get, the link they have is clickable, and then you'll see that it actually shows up on your calendar as an advising appointment with the link. So that's pretty straightforward. If you needed to edit anything, you can go back, you can look at your calendar from within the app, and you could add a new booking from here. You can add new services. If you wanted to add students, you could import them, but unnecessary. And you can also embed your booking page if you wanted to embed it on Moodle, or just put this link directly on Moodle. If you have any questions, let me know, but this is a pretty straightforward tool once you get it all set.